Crypto airdrops are making people tens of thousands of dollars, and it's really not that hard to set up. There were very many crypto airdrops you could have gotten yourself into if you prepared yourself a few months ago, but if you didn't, the best time to start is right now, and that's why I'll be going over how to prepare yourself for some of the best crypto airdrops in a very easy fashion. As you might have noticed, I've been making multiple of these tutorials over the past week, and I'll continue to make more in the near future, as long as you guys keep pressing that like button and letting me know that you're interested in these type of easy money type of tutorials. I'd say the cost is about 50 cents. The capital you might need, this is no cost, you just need to have this, I would say is as low as $10 all the way up to a couple hundred for the highest chances. And it's expandable, meaning you could do only one of the things I'm about to show you, all the way up to 10, and you can even expand it, as I'll explain in this video, to just increase your chances. Because there's a couple things to explain. One is crypto airdrops are quite vague. As you can see, for example, here's a list of some that have happened or that might happen in the near future. And here's another website with a different list. Here's another website with some of the ones that happened in the past or that might happen. And here's one that everybody knew about, but that already had its cutoff date a little while ago. Because that's why I'm always saying these videos are urgent, in the sense that you, please listen carefully, have to do a certain set of actions before a specific cutoff date to be eligible for airdrops. Why do you get an airdrop? Why do you get free money? Well, let's say you've got a project, right? How do you get your token to real users that are not just trying to sell it quickly, but are really trying to be involved? In theory, me making a video about it, explaining to you guys just how to get the money, kind of goes against their principles. They'd prefer to have real users that have figured out everything on their own instead of just people looking for some cash. But hey, if it works, it works. The platform, the project, they want to find real users to give some of their platform or of their token to have an economy going. Let's say they were to start out with a token, but they held 100% of the supply. Nobody would trade it. Nobody would want it. You'd only be buying it from that company. That wouldn't be nice. To get an economy of sorts going, it can be very wise to reward your most loyal users. And thus, all we're trying to do is look for projects that are going to reward these loyalties, basically, with some sort of token. And now, exactly how you can prove loyalty to this platform can sometimes be quite difficult, because for every one of these platformers, it might be different. And as I said, there's a cutoff date, meaning let's say they announce they're doing an airdrop to the people. They very often say that you needed to have done a certain set of steps before, as right now is the 10th of January or 9th of January. They might say you needed to have done this before the 1st of January. Or they say you needed to have done this before the 8th of January. You don't know upfront what their cutoff date is going to be, where you could have proved your loyalty. And so we can't change the past. All we can do is start now as soon as possible, so that if future projects come up, at least would have been there before their cutoff date. Because for some projects like Jupiter, their cutoff date was somewhere in November. For Dimension, for example, even though you can still claim the airdrop, you needed to have done things before the 19th of December. And so we're looking for projects that are not cut off yet, that are still ongoing, or that have not announced an airdrop yet. And some of the best ones all exist on Cosmos. And as you might know, I already did a tutorial a while back for a couple of the coins you see here, Cosmos, Osmosis, and Celestia, and then a completely separate tutorial for Injective. But here, I just want to make a quick, hopefully 10-minute tutorial or so, explaining you how to at least stake for all 10 of these protocols to increase your chances drastically to be eligible for some sort of airdrop. And I can't name you every single airdrop that might come, because it could be 2 in the next 2 weeks, it could be 50 in the next 2 weeks, and how you find them is also hard to say. For the most part, I recommend you guys to just join the Telegram. A link will be down below, because if there are juicy airdrops, I'll be sharing them in there. But just know that nobody out there has a perfect system. It's all about trying to find it out on the internet. So I would also highly recommend to become more acquainted with just different platforms like X, formerly known as Twitter, or Telegram or Discord, Because if you're not speaking to anybody, you're not looking anything up about these ecosystems, it might just slip by you. You might never notice. There is one way which you could go for that does not involve anybody else, and that is actually through places like DeFi Llama. Some people ask me, Dusty, why don't you link it? Just Google whatever the name is and you'll find the website. Go into the respective network. I just showed you a couple of names like 𝗕𝗁𝗲. You press the button and you literally press every single one of these links every couple of days to see if they've gone for an airdrop, if they didn't do it in the past. That's an option. So what are the steps? Step number 1, get yourself either 𝗕𝗘𝗪 wallet or Leap wallet. Step number 2 is open it up and go through all the steps to sign up. Write your password down. You're going to need it. Back your wallet up. Whatever it says, just get to the place where it says $0 right here. You have a little address and you can scroll. Once you've done that, we're going to go to an exchange. I've said it before, I personally use Bybit. A link is down below so you can sign up and claim yourself some juicy deposit bonuses because we're going to need to buy ourselves some Atom. It's this coin right here. You can also buy it with your credit card if you want to, but we're going to need basically everything we want to do for this tutorial is going to be done through buying Atom. But if you want to, you can start out with, let's say, $15, go through this process first. And if it's something you know how to do and you understand it, you can come back and do more. You don't have to do all the money at once. If you know how crypto stuff works a bit though, you can go to this section on the right, press market, buy yourself, let's say 15, or if you want to go for it, we go with, let's say, $500 or so worth of Atom. And then we withdraw it. In our Bybit account, there's a little button that says withdraw, and we withdraw it to this address. So you just copy this, input it into whatever you want to withdraw to. The chain is Atom, and there's no memo or anything that you need. If you need more details, just check out my previous tutorial. It's right here on my channel. If you really want an in-depth breakdown about how to withdraw from Bybit, it's in here. But I'm assuming you guys know it by now. Anyway, once you've got some money in your Atom wallet, I've only got $4 here, but it's enough to showcase to you guys exactly all the steps. This is now in the Cosmos hub. That's one place where we can stake, which is just locking up some tokens and potentially being eligible for some rewards because we've done that, because we've interacted with the platform. But we want to do that on 10 of them. So on Cosmos, Osmosis, Celestia, Injective, Stargaze, and I'll show you everything. But in order to do that, we basically have to split our money, kind of like it says right here, into multiple different parts. Because in this little guide of sorts that I didn't make, I just found somewhere, it says try stake 10 Atom, at least 60 osmosis. And again, these numbers are all pretty arbitrary. I think some airdrops will only need you to stake 1 Atom and, for example, 10 osmosis, but I think he's just trying to base it on $100 or so per drop, or I say per platform. 8 plus Celestia, 2.5 Injective, 160 𝗍, 100 plus Axelar, 35 Akash, 140 𝗂𝗏, 2450 Stargaze, and 175 Juno. But it comes down to roughly about $100 per project. So in that case, we needed to withdraw $1,000 worth of Atom and then split it over all 10 of these. How do you split it and how do you stake the amounts that it says? Well, if we want to get money onto different platforms, all we have to do is go to this button right here, swap. Then now, okay, I missed it just now, but there's going to be a button right here in the green or where I'm hovering with my mouse that says connect wallet. You're going to have to press that. And don't worry about this notification at the top that says airdrop. Don't worry about this right here stating airdrop. Ignore it all. You're too late for most of the ones it prompts you about. However, on the Leapfrog wallet, there is a little section that says, hey, you might be eligible for some of these airdrops, but I'll show you exactly how this all works at the end of the video as to how you can find out if you actually got into an airdrop and then how to claim it as well. I'll show you. Like I said, though, once we've pressed swap, all we now got to figure out is which of these ones do we want to do? Because I'd say that the probability of it being useful are also top down, meaning Cosmos is most useful, then Osmosis, then Celestia, then Injective, then 𝗍, and then kind of the rest as well. These 5 particularly are on the right, are more optional than the ones on the left. The ones on the left I would certainly do. The ones on the right are okay. So now, hypothetically speaking, this number should have been around 100 or whatever number we wanted to put into all of these 10 things, right? Because we're starting out right here. This is the maximum amount because all you've done is withdraw from the exchange you're using into your account, and so it's right here. Now, as I said, in this video, I'll show you an even split. So in theory, if we started out with $1,000, that's $100 each project. I started out with like $3 though. So in theory, I should do 30 cents per project, but just understand it's all relative. It's all the same. So if you want to do this with more or less money, in theory, all I'm doing now is just dividing whatever money I started with into 10 equal pieces. All right. So I'm not sure if it's going to allow me to do very little, like 0.03. It might be too little because it's 30 cents and the fees are like 1 or 2 cents. So it might be too little to go through, but you basically press review right now. You see a couple steps it's going to take. All you have to do is press proceed and then maybe click again. So I clicked once and now I have to click twice. Again, you can see the fee is roughly 1 cent. Then you have to give it like 30 seconds or so. So now it's done. And that means we've done 2 of the 10 because obviously we already had Atom. Now we also have Osmosis, which means we've got 8 more to go. And once more, we want to go from Atom on the Cosmos Hub now to next one in the line. Next one in line being Celestia. So the same process I'm going to do for Celestia, and you'll see. I just type in Celestia. There we go. We make sure it says TIA right there. On Celestia, you don't really have any other options, but just make sure it says TIA right there. We again put a number in there. In our case, we wanted to do 0.03, which is very little. It's not enough, by the way, to get all these things done. I'm just giving it to you as an example because I didn't put more money into the account because I've done the same tutorial so many times. But I'd recommend to do it with at least $10 per project. If you're not doing like $10, $11, $12, it's maybe not worth it really, but we'll come across that later. Anyway, so this exact same process, it's the same for Celestia. So just click review, click on. It would be the same for Juno, as you can see right there. It'll be the same for Stargaze, for example. All you got to do is just keep pressing review, keep going to the next step and pressing yes until your money is divided by 10. Just for fun, I'll show you once more. So I just press review. Then right here, it says, hey, do you want to yada, yada, yada? You press approve. Now we just wait, give it a minute or so. Sometimes it takes 20 seconds. Sometimes it takes a minute and 20 seconds. And there we go. It's done. Once more, this exact process you do 9 times to go through every single one of these. Just the amount we just specified. So your total money divided by 10. Once we've done that, now comes the staking part. And theoretically speaking, for some airdrops, you might already be eligible just by performing these swaps, as they are actions you are undertaking within the Cosmos ecosystem that for some projects might suffice. But as I said before, we are trying to increase our chances for some of the most popular airdrops. And for example, here's one that just happened, and I saw so many questions about this. Guys, you are too late for the airdrops that I'm showing you. It's almost never possible to still qualify for airdrops that have already been announced, because then all of a sudden all the farmers come in. Most of the time, you need to do things not knowing for sure whether or not you're ever going to receive an airdrop, and then you can claim your money. So I will say it again because there was a lot of confusion here. This airdrop I'm showing you is for the people that watched my videos last month, that listened when I said, go stake some Atom, go stake some Sol, etc. If you didn't do it last month, you are not getting yourself this airdrop. Don't ask me about, hey, how can I still get? If it's done, it's done. You can't get it. And there might be some ways to get it. For example, here, potentially if you interact with their testnet, do some stuff, you might still get yourself some tokens, but that's for yourself to go and figure out. All I'm showing you here is how to increase your chances for future airdrops, because the cutoff date, and I said this, but still people don't watch the whole video, the cutoff date for all this was December 19th. But it was so easy to get yourself a couple $100 with this drop. All I needed to do was stake 1 Atom or 10 Osmosis, which is $9, or I'm not sure how much this is. Also like 10 bucks, maybe 17 bucks, or as it says here, 1 Celestia. So again, let's say 15 bucks. That's why I'm making a video on how exactly to just do all this stuff so that if there are more drops like this, you will never miss out. That does not mean every single thing I'm showing you here, you can still claim your money on. That does not mean that tomorrow there will be an airdrop that you can make money on. It means at least you won't miss out anymore. So please get it in your head that I am preparing you for the most popular and I guess easy airdrops that otherwise everybody's going to get except for you, like Dimension, because you are too late. At least now you've got all the steps to not be too late. Anyway, so next process is staking, which for some of these is extremely convenient. And this will be pretty similar depending on whether or not you chose Leap or Kepler wallet at the start. There's going to be a dashboard or a button here that says stake. What you could also do if you find it easier, is press swap again. And then on the left, you'll see a button that says stake. It's the same thing, just looks slightly different, but it all works in the exact same manner. And so now, all 10 of the coins we just talked about, what we're going to have to do is stake them. And staking means you lock these coins up, and in return for locking them up, you get a yield, meaning it's like a savings account of sorts. You don't lose these funds. You're just saying, hey, I delegate my, let's say, $10 to a validator in the network. They now have my voting power, basically, because I gave them money to do so. And in return, I want whatever. In this case, it's about a 17% return every single year. And if I want to unstake, it's going to take a few days. I think it's like 3 weeks or so to get your money back. But it's theoretically speaking like a savings account. So you've got one atom, you put it in. In 1 year, it'd be 1.17 atom. But usually there are a couple other rewards you get for staking atom. And as we said before, you might be eligible for airdrops. So the real return is most likely significantly higher. But as you can see, for previous tutorials, I already staked a few other ones. Let me show you how to do it. So for example, we're starting out with Cosmos Hub, but the process is the same for all of these. What we do is we select a validator, and I always select them by amount staked, so total delegations, and I look for low fees. Now, personally, I usually go for this one with 2% commission, but all nodes with a 0% fee is also fine. A lot of people just say diversify because at the end of the day, you never know what you don't know. But here, for example, something cool. There's an auto compounding feature available for this validator. Get an 18.18% APR with auto compounding. So that could actually be pretty nice, where it just automatically puts these rewards, which you get from staking, which you can claim, but it costs a cent. So this is essentially zero, unless you leave it for a little while. But then it'll automatically re-compound it every single time, so your return is higher. You could do that. Anyway, so total delegations, and I go for some of the bigger ones. Some of my friends, they always go like all the way down here. I like to go with bigger ones because I always think, and this is how a lot of my people always say it, if I'm losing my money, I at least want 20 million other tokens to be lost, you know? But hey, maybe that's a stupid philosophy. Could be. So I choose all nodes, for example, here. There's a little button that says, do you want to auto compound? And I just put the whole amount in here. This, I would say, in this case here would be 0.3 because I already have like 0.021 left or so. I'd say always leave like $1 worth in your account. So don't do like 0.321, but leave like $1 or so in. Obviously, if I had 10 atom, which I would have recommended you, I would probably make sure that in my entire wallet, I had about, let's say, 10.5 or 10 point something. And then if I had this in my entire wallet, I'd stake the whole 10 to just leave a little bit for fees. Because again, even though it's only 1 cent per time or 2 cents per time, if you leave only 3 cents, you might not be able to do something that you wanted to. Then you're going to have to withdraw from Bybit again. I prefer to just leave like, let's say 25 cents or so out of this full number that we have. So if this was our total number, which is too little to start out with, I'd say, then we do 0.3. If this was 10 times as big, obviously, so we had 3.21, I'd do 3 and leave the 0.21. You get the picture. Auto compound is fine. All you have to do is just press the stake button. It'll again be, in this case here, 4 cents worth of fees. You press approve. You can't see it, but on the bottom right, it says transaction pending, and now it says success. You have staked successfully. And now this will only pop up if you earlier put this auto compound feature on. If you didn't, this will not show. But this is a question of, hey, can we keep reinvesting your profits? Are they allowed to delegate for you? And you can just say yes, or if you don't want them to keep reinvesting, you just skip this. But I will say yes, so I approve. And now again, it says transaction pending on the bottom right. And that's all we need to do for Cosmos. And now we do it 9 more times. All of them have a significantly different yield. So for example, Stargaze here has an 8% return a year, but Say, for example, has a 0% return a year. So you don't even get money for staking it. Yeah, c'est la vie. So all we do again, and this you're going to have to do 10 times, right? But I'll show it to you once more just for the sake of comparison. We go by total delegations. We take a look at some of the biggest ones with low commission. In this case here, every single one of them has a 5% commission. Some even have a 10% commission, but there's none with a 0% commission. So in my own opinion, I just go for the biggest one. Yeah, You can do whatever you want though, but that's just my style. So for Stargaze, I press Stargaze, I press the biggest one, I put the amount. So in this case here, I'd say 6.5. So I'm keeping like 0.2 left. I think perhaps I should have done only 6 just to be safe. I'm not sure how much each token is worth. I want to leave, let's say 10 cents or so for gas fees. It says here, I need to have 0.2 left for gas fees, but it might actually be higher. And this is because I only, sent over like 20 cents. I should have done higher numbers, but I didn't prepare properly. So now I just press stake. As you can see now, it'll say, again, you have to pay a cent to approve and let it stake. Again, same message on the bottom right, and there we go. It's done. 22 cents is now officially staked. And once more, do it with at least 10 bucks. I'm just showing this to you as an example, but $10 is the minimum I would recommend. Not financial advice, but these are my thoughts. And so the same process, I hope by now you understand it, is done for every single one of these. So now, again, we decide a number, and it's just your total amount that you started off with divided by 10 minus slightly to accommodate for like the 20 cents worth of fees you might need. Let's say injective, we did our entire balance divided by 10, which would be $100, but then we do like $99, right? So we keep $1 left. Personally, I would recommend to just do $100 into each project, which means you might need to transfer over slightly more, like $1 more or $2 to accommodate for all the fees. But you understand now how it works. It's that simple, and you do that same process 10 times. It's literally what I've just shown you 10 times. You press it once. For all the ones I just showed you in this screenshot right here, it is not a mystery anymore, right? If there's something about this you don't understand, then you might want to really do a couple of Google searches for the next few hours or so, because then I don't know what to tell you, right? It's just whatever I've shown you here 10 times. Once you've done that, now you might be wondering, Dusty, let's say an airdrop comes up. How do I claim it? How do I get it? Because in definition, this is all you need to do to be eligible for quite a lot of things. So sometimes, like right now, it'll just show up in your wallet. So 𝗕𝗪 and 𝗕𝗵 have a very easy overview where if a very massive airdrop is going on, it'll just show up right here. Or, as I said before, if you press the swap button or you just press this check now button, on the left in the Explore tab, it says airdrops. Once you go there, you insert your address right here. So, I've gone back to the Cosmos Hub to go from Stargaze in this case to Cosmos Hub. I copied this address right here, press copy, and you paste it right there. Press check eligibility and it will say, well, none of your addresses right here are eligible for any active airdrops because we just did this and there are no new airdrops just quite yet. But perhaps if we look back in a month from now and we put our address into this box right here, it'll say, hey, you got yourself something cool to claim. And a claiming process is always a little bit scary because you have to make sure this is a good airdrop. What I mean is, don't go to all these sketchy websites. If you're the only one that knows about this, perhaps you're getting phished, scammed, or something. But if Leap Wallet is showing it to you right here, most likely it'll be Gucci. But then again, for some other drops, they will also be able to be found on their website. Like for example, Dimension, you just type in Cosmos Hub, you put your address in right there and press check. In this case here, as you can see, this time you're not in, but it's not over for you. Roll Drop Season 2 is coming out. So perhaps there's even more cool things you can get in round 2 by staking right now. Maybe you're not too late for a round 2 of sorts. And as I've described in my previous injective airdrop guide, there are quite a lot of ways to increase your chances of getting into these crypto airdrops. One is by, for example, staking your money not only where I just showed you, but also going for places like Milky Way to, for example, stake your Celestia, to also get 𝗕𝗪𝗏, for example. Then again, I personally think what we have just covered, if you're doing that for all 10, you've got yourself covered for so many potential airdrops in the near future. One of the juiciest ones that I right now use a lot, Neutron, for example, all you needed to do was stake at least one atom by November 19th, 2022. So it was a while back, but that's literally all you needed to do. Now, again, there's other ways you can increase your chances by using different bridges to, for example, go from what I just showed you, to go from Cosmos Hub to something else. We often use this swap feature, right? There are different ways to do it. And to, for example, do more IBC transfers, which are just basically sending money around. But just playing around with this, for example, could also make you more likely for airdrops of sorts. So I sometimes also play around with that. So this was all you need to do for so ridiculously many free airdrops in the near future that'll most likely pop up. No guarantees. No, there's not something you can go ahead and claim right now if you're just watching this tutorial right now. If you did all this stuff a few months back, check out Dimension, check out a couple other ones. This tutorial is to hopefully get you access to things in the future. Some of you might be thinking, Dusty, why are you repeating it so many times? Because many people didn't get it. So hopefully that clears up some of the air. I'll be making more of these tutorials though. I am working on it constantly as it takes a lot of effort. But as long as you guys keep pressing that like button and you are subscribed with the notification bell on, because this is all about speed at the end of the day. You have to be fast. You have to be early. You'll be solid. And I'm working on a couple of spreadsheets as well, so you guys can have some easy checklists, but most likely we'll get that in a couple of weeks. I will add one more thing. You might want to actually increase your stake by, like, for example, $1 every month or so, or just slightly every month or so. So if an airdrop doesn't happen right now, but happens in a few months, you don't want to look like an inactive wallet. This is just for some airdrops, again, to increase chances. And as I said before, if you guys want a more advanced type of guide, here are, for example, a couple of other things you can do. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. But whatever you've done right now is what a lot of people are doing. And the only thing that might be different is they also might be LPing, but again, that's more advanced. They might be voting or using specific staking protocols or swap protocols instead of doing it all through the wallet. But if you really want to, you'll figure it out. And you can also always, in like Twitter or Telegram communities, find out about projects that are doing some sort of airdrop. And like in my injective guide, just interact with them as much as possible. But again, that's for more advanced users if you really want to get into some of these things. But hey, I'll probably make a specific guide for like these and how to interact with these protocols. But I explained everything in the injective guide, so you can check that one out. And hopefully I'll see you guys soon for more cool updates and tutorials.